So last month, I got an email from Google informing me about how I can transfer my albums, playlists, and other account information from Google Play Music over to YouTube Music, because the email also said that they were planning on kind of phasing out Google Play Music and making YouTube Music their, their primary music streaming service. Now, when I first read that, I kind of went into panic mode a little bit, but just a little bit, because, every time Google tries to get rid of something in place of something else and then add something new, we all kind of lose our minds and go crazy about it, and that was kind of how I felt about it. But over time, I kind of gave it some thought, and I kind of realized that it might not be so bad. I think it's just the fact that compared to other things that Google has changed over time, this one kind of hit me a little bit differently. Even though I haven't been using Google Play Music as a streaming platform, I do use it to listen to the music that I buy on the Play Store. Within the past maybe year and a half, I've been using it more often because I've been buying more music. And most recently, now that I've been using Survey Junkie to just make a little bit of extra money, I've been buying a lot more albums now than I ever was before. So I've been, building up my digital music library, and I would just kind of hate to see the platform go away for no good reason, I've heard some okay things about YouTube Music, some not so good things, and I figured I would just give it a fair shot. So, back in about halfway through July, I just decided to download the app and just give it a shot. The first time I booted it up, it immediately bombarded me with all those, offers of, hey, you can get this, premium package, this premium package, a family package. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. Just give me the free trial. And it did. And it was about 14 days, 14 or 15. It was like 14. But I just wanted to see how just the general idea of how the app worked. And the first thing I did was to transfer my stuff from Google Play Music. It's actually way easier than I thought it would be. Essentially, it's like it's synchronizing your account information from Google Play Music. So any albums that you've bought, I guess playlists that you've made or whatever, that's all just synchronized to your YouTube Music account, which is just built on top of your YouTube account. Once you do that, there will be a separate list, a little tab called Uploads that has all of your albums listed. And once they're there, you can download them offline, for offline listening. You can listen to them, in the background or whatever. So it's all there. Like, the music that you own is right there for you to use however you want to. On top of that, I said before that you could listen to it in the background. There is background play, but only for premium users. If you're just using the basic ad-supported version of YouTube Music, you can't do background play. You can't download stuff, but your albums that you own that are like, they come from your Google Play Music account, all of those can be listened to offline and in the background, even if you don't have a subscription. So that's pretty cool. Because my free trial just ended the other day, and I was just wanting to see what would happen if I tried to listen to one of my, the stuff that I own offline. And I could, with no ads, it has background play, and all that good stuff. So, as far as that goes, that's no problem. My ultimate concern with them phasing out Google Play Music was, how would people who buy music from the Play Store, on the mobile app, be able to download and listen to the music on their phones or whatever? Because if you if you're using the desktop client, then you can just go to the, Google Play Music website and just download your albums as, zip archives and have them on your PC. But you can't do that on a mobile device. And trust me, I've tried, using a browser, setting it to desktop mode, and trying to force, my way into the website, which is kind of hard to do actually. But once I got to the site and I tried to download an album, the actual prompt wouldn't come up, so I can't actually do that. And I tried 4 different browsers. I tried Dolphin, I tried Chrome, I tried Firefox, I tried Microsoft Edge, I tried a whole bunch of things, but it couldn't get it to work. So I would hope that at some point in the future, when they do get rid of Google Play Music, that they have an alternative. Or maybe if they just leave it as it is and just take away the streaming functionality and just leave it as a, just a basic music playing app, just for stuff that you downloaded. Because, alongside albums that you've bought, you can also use Google Play Music to listen to stuff that you just happen to download from wherever. Like if you have, a general download folder for stuff that you download from a browser, it'll be right there. Like there will be a separate, like an album titled Download, and that's where I just have all the stuff that I just happen to download online from wherever. So I'm hoping they just keep the app, but just take away the streaming stuff. I think that would be a good way to end it. Now, as for YouTube Music itself, honestly, in the time I spent using it, it's really not that bad. Like, it does everything that it needs to do. What it actually is, just for the most part, based on what I've seen and heard, is that it essentially works as a filter, and it filters out content based on YouTube's, they have these auto-generated topic channels, and what these topic channels are just like high quality uploads of music from pretty much any artist that you could think of. And you can tell it's from a topic channel, either from the channel name, or when you look in the video description, it'll always list stuff like copyright information, lyricists, composers, engineers, all that stuff. And then at the very bottom of it, it'll always say auto-generated by YouTube. That's how you know it's from one of those channels. YouTube Music uses those channels as its core content. It uses, music from the topic channels, and it'll use music videos from artists' official channels. So if you're in YouTube Music and you're trying to find a song, you're not going to find some random upload by some user in 2009. You're going to find like the actual official uploads and music videos whenever they're available. I remember I did a little experiment to see if this was for real, so I was looking for the song I See Now by Little Brother, and when I looked it up, I saw that there was this like 1 minute and 2 second upload, which is kind of wrong because the actual song is like about 4 minutes and 15 seconds, I think. So when I went to YouTube, actually, just the base YouTube app, and I looked it up, there it was, that same exact upload, and it even had the red bar underneath it to indicate that I had listened to it before, so it was already part of my YouTube viewing history, even though I only listened to it on YouTube Music and not on the app. So that was how I kind of confirmed that YouTube does use content from the topic channels, which I think is a pretty good move on their part, because again, those uploads are very high quality, and in my case, I get a better experience listening to it on YouTube Music than on YouTube itself. Because here's the thing, when they these topic channels, they upload the music at 1080p, and that higher resolution does affect the sound quality, but unfortunately my phone only is 720p, so I'm losing that extra bit of sound quality. So I would go back and forth listening between YouTube Music, which has the highest quality version, and then normal YouTube, which is slightly less, and I can definitely hear a difference. Like, I'm no audiophile, I don't have a very, amazingly high quality pair of headphones, but even I can tell that YouTube Music definitely has like the better audio quality. In my case, that is. If I had a better smartphone, this wouldn't be an issue at all. With all that being said, I don't think that YouTube Music should be its own app. Like, again, it has some nice extra features like, custom playlists based on your listening history, mood-themed playlists, playlists based on genres and all that kinds of stuff. Just little extra fun details just for the heck of it. But the base YouTube app already kinda has custom playlists and things like that. I feel like a lot of YouTube Music's functionality could probably fit into the base YouTube app. Like, I know I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but I think this could all work within a single app. because the Explore section already has a music area that has, you know, new music from major artists, up-and-coming artists, all kinds of stuff. But if they were to just add like an extra, you know, an extra filter or a parameter to the search engine that just says, hey, I want to limit my results to topic channels or just, you know, music uploads, I think that would pretty much amount to the majority of what YouTube Music would be used for. And just, you know, have YouTube make some special playlists based on your listening history. I think that's all they need to do. It doesn't have to be its own app. For the most part, YouTube Music works just fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I do think that maybe we're being a bit apprehensive about it. Like, oh, they're doing a new thing. I don't want the new stuff. I want the old stuff. And you know, when it comes to Google, that's how it's always been. You know, they've always tried to have a perfectly good feature. They'll phase it out for something new that isn't as good, but over time we either learn to like it or just kind of deal with it, and then, you know, the process repeats over and over and over again. Overall, YouTube Music, it's fine. Now that my my free subscription trial is gone, I can't listen to it in the background, but I can still use it to find high quality music. So if I were to go search for something, I can find an album and then add it to my library. Then when I go back to the main YouTube app, it shows up in my playlist as, like, you know, an unlisted playlist. So I'm kind of using YouTube Music as a reference. I use it as a search engine for music that I add to my own library for later. And then down the line, if I find something that I like, I'll go and buy it from the Play Store and add it to my own personal library. So that's kind of how I'm handling my music right now. Because typically I don't do a lot of streaming stuff. I don't use Pandora or Spotify or any of that other stuff. I just kind of go to YouTube, look things up, you know, kind of go down that rabbit hole of finding new things and just go from there. So, yeah, not too bad. Could be worse. Again, I'm just hoping that Google has some alternative MP3 player type thing for when you buy albums on the Play Store and want to enjoy them on your phone. So we'll just see how that works. Alright, get out of here.